good morning, well, basically good afternoon, I assume, because it's 1 p.m. but I did not went to bed until 5:30 this morning, slept until 12, so I guess good morning. Yeah, this is my next video, and as of today is Friday for myself. As of today I am 37 weeks and 1 day pregnant, and yeah, soon baby Monty is being born, and so yeah, let's get started. So our week started kind of surprising, I guess. My husband, who works in a grocery store, he got up on Monday morning and he wasn't feeling really well. He was feeling really dizzy, tired, worn out. He eventually started throwing up, and he wasn't feeling himself. So I got up Monday morning, called the doctor, and called his work, and was just like, oh, he isn't feeling too good. I assume it's the weather. He is showing signs of migraines over the years, or he has shown some signs of it, and it runs in his family. So I was like, yeah, okay. Yesterday was a busy day for him. Now the weather has changed a lot, and everything fine. He needs few hours of sleep. Yeah, that's why I'm smiling about the situation. Like, he wasn't feeling like he would die or anything. Like, he was okay. He was just not feeling his best. So I called his doctor, I called his boss, and was like, yeah, he's not feeling really good. He's just not coming to work today, but tomorrow everything will be fine. So he eventually got up, and cause I let him sleep, of course, and he got up, talked to the doctor on the phone by himself, and time passed. He was feeling much better on Monday, and Monday afternoon he was supposed to call the doctor back, because as it works in Germany, basically, if you're sick, you're calling the doctor, hey, I need you're signing basically that I can't go to work today, and so you go to your doctor. They like check you and see, okay, what's wrong, and you get like a little, not a letter, a little piece of paper, and there it says, okay, this person was seeing me on this and that day, and I have decided that he or she cannot go to work until this or that day. So basically my husband just wanted like this piece of paper saying that he couldn't go to work on Monday. That's why he like called the doctor back and forth, and the doctor was like, no, I cannot see you, stay home and just call me in the afternoon and tell me how things have changed. So yeah, Monday afternoon, my husband once again with the doctor. He was feeling much better, and the weather once again had changed, and so I assume it had a lot to do with the weather. And the doctor was like, yeah, but you weren't feeling really well this morning, so stay home tomorrow. Just for Monday, Tuesday, stay home. I will sign you the letter without you coming to my office. Yeah, and so my husband calls his boss and tells him, okay, I will be back on Wednesday, just to make sure. So that was our Monday. Tuesday morning, I'm in my bed, I'm expecting a phone call from my mother. That's why my phone is like right next to myself, completely, like the volume completely on loud, because I was really waiting for this important call from my mom. And all of a sudden my phone rings, and I'm like, yeah, it's my mom, and I'm like, whoa, okay, wait, I'm awake, and I was feeling terrible. It was like at 8 a.m. and like I said, I got so many sleep problems right now, which I will talk about later. And so yeah, I'm completely worn out answering the phone, and it's the doctor who wants to talk with my husband. So I'm getting out of bed and start searching for my husband. He is in the living room and he talks with the doctor for a few minutes. I'm waiting because I wanted back to my bed, and I needed my phone in case my mom would call. And so yeah, they talk on the phone for several minutes. My husband hangs up, looks at me and says, I have to get a corona test. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what is going on? And so basically the doctor is freaking out because of his symptoms, and because my husband is working in the grocery store. So yeah, the doctor immediately called like the hospital that is responsible for our area, and only 30 minutes later the hospital called and was like, yeah, we got this phone call from the doctor that there is someone who potentially has the coronavirus. Come back or come in at 3 p.m. And at that point it was like 9 a.m. or so on Tuesday. And so yeah, the hospital was like, come here at 3 p.m. and by the way, you are now in isolation. No contact to anyone. We were planning on going to the grocery store that day, and I cannot go by myself anymore, like to the grocery store, because for once we are both really scared that it will start any second, and for two, like I'm simply having the normal problems every pregnant woman, I guess, has. And so my husband isn't letting me go by myself anymore. And yeah, so surprise, he is in isolation. And he called his boss and was like, yeah, I cannot return. I have, like this week, I have to get the testing done, and then I will call you back. And so 3 p.m. came and we went to the hospital. I drove him there, but I stayed in the car obviously, because like I don't need to go inside the hospital and get sick potentially, and in my opinion you don't need to risk, like we are risking enough with my husband working in a grocery store. Like, I'm going to a grocery store when I need things, and that's it. Or I'm going to the doctor like for my normal checkups, but I don't have to like go in 5 different stores because I want this one special thing. Like, no, I'm going to one store where I get most of the things I really want, and that's it. Like, don't run into like 20 different stores and risk it everywhere. And yeah, so my husband goes in, and the testing was apparently very, very uncomfortable. Like, they did testing in his mouth and in his nose, and yeah, it wasn't really, apparently it wasn't really pleasant. And so then we drove back home without any contact to anyone. I waited in the car the entire time. And yeah, this was on Tuesday. And now since Tuesday, my husband has stayed home. And they were supposed to call on Thursday. And they told us, okay, 2 days if it's negative. And if it's positive, then we will call much earlier. And so Thursday came, 2 days passed, we haven't heard a word. So this morning my husband called his doctor, and the doctor told him, yeah, just got a call, everything's fine, you don't get the virus. So basically my husband had to stay home a whole week, And yeah, that was our experience with the coronavirus. And I have to say he's feeling much better since Tuesday morning, Monday afternoon. That's why I can laugh about it. Because we should have been smart enough, I guess you could say, to know that if I'm telling the doctor he is feeling dizzy and yeah, all these things, like that the doctor would panic and would call for a corona test. I did knew better at this moment. I just told the doctor the symptoms, and yeah, but my husband is feeling a lot better and was the whole week, and so now we know that he isn't sick. And yeah, that was our experience with the corona test. Now to come back basically to my pregnancy and all the things that changed. I'm sorry, my window is open because we got 25 degrees or something, so I'm needing fresh air the entire time. And yeah, so it might be loud in the background. And yeah, to come back to my pregnancy update, actually, once again I have written down everything because my memory is like non-existent. So yeah, this week it started with some contractions, I assume, and I had 2 or 3, I think it was 2 really bad days and one that wasn't the greatest, where I have to say we were sure that Monty would be born soon. Like I mean, I never went through labor and delivery. I went through 4 miscarriages, and to a certain degree, to a small certain degree, I can imagine how a birth will feel. So like I knew in this moment, like, okay, this is not the beginning. Like I knew, okay, the pain is nowhere near it's supposed to be. What we assume is that I had some contractions that pushed Monty down to prepare for labor and delivery and a birth. And yeah, so I had 2 or 3 really bad days, a lot of pain. I barely could move. I barely could, like, I went from the couch to my bed and back, and that's pretty much it. My husband took care of me, and like I took warm baths several times because I was told that real contractions would get worse in the hot water, and not real contractions would disappear. And basically I was in the bathtub and nothing changed, so I knew that I was fine and everything was okay. And yeah, but there were some time where we truly believed Monty would be born now, and I have to say it was really scary because my husband was in isolation until this morning, and the hospital that tested him for the coronavirus is the hospital we want to go to for the birth. So yeah, I mean, we couldn't drive there and tell him, yeah, birth is starting, my husband is coming with me, but by the way, you guys are currently doing the corona test on him. Like, no, not working. And so it was really scary that after all, and after husbands, or in general the father, is finally allowed back in labor and delivery room, that he is now missing it for the test. And I hope you understand what I mean. So yeah, we were really scared, but now everything is fine. I mean, I got a lot of pain, to be honest, like there is no sleep, and like sitting up like this, I'm already in pain, and yeah, but I mean, it's okay, and I know that labor and delivery will be much worse, and in the end it's worth it. So yeah, my other really big problem that is keeping me from sleeping is my heartburn, and it got worse. It got really, really bad. Like I finally got some medicine for it for my doctor, because it's not working anymore. Like I had like ice cream and things, and I like was sitting up as much as possible, but it's getting so bad, and yeah, it's one of the things that is keeping me from sleep. And I have to say, while in the beginning it was at night mainly, now it's like throughout the entire day and part of pregnancy. So yeah, I already talked about my sleeping problems, like I don't sleep at all. Like I had several days within the last week where I finally would go to bed at like 8 a.m. 8:21 was it the other day, and I would wake up at 12, like without an alarm clock, 12 p.m. and I'm awake, and I'm going through my day. Yeah, last night I fall asleep on the couch and slept for about 2 hours there, but I'm just not sleeping anymore. I'm in pain, I'm not feeling good, I'm not feeling tired in this moment, but then like a few hours later I'm completely worn out. Still, I'm not falling asleep, like I'm awake. I'm simply awake the entire time, and like changing sleeping positions it's just not working. It's just not working, and yeah, my midwife already said it's part of like my body prepares myself for when Monty is born, and I need to get up at night and feed him and change his diapers. And so yeah, it's one of the normal things, and I'm sure the day will come when I can sleep again, but yeah, not right now. So yeah, in one of my many sleepless nights, because my husband is completely normally sleeping and I'm awake and I got the whole house for myself, and yeah, in one of my sleepless nights I started packing my hospital bag. So in Germany it's basically normal that after a normal labor and delivery you are staying around 3 or 4 days in the hospital. After a C-section you are staying longer, but at the end of the day, like, your baby is born, you are checked out, the baby is checked out, and if you want to go home you can go home. So it's like not a law or anything that I have to stay 3 days, but it's my very first baby. I have changed several diapers, but I never nursed before. I never had like a tiny newborn baby like to take care of, and I really want to nurse, and I don't got anybody like at home that like can tell me okay what to do, and so I'm 98% sure that I will stay for 3 days, 4 days. Then I know that I'm getting checked out completely. I know that Monty is getting checked out completely, and yeah. So I packed my bag. I packed one for the hospital stay. I packed one for labor and delivery. I packed stuff for my husband. I packed a tiny little suitcase for Monty, and there are still 2 or 3 things missing. some background noise. Yeah, a few things are still missing. There are one or two I still have to buy, and yeah. And I also I wrote a letter to my husband to when labor delivery start, to calm down and do this, do that, remember this, remember that. And we went through the letter together. And yeah, so yeah, two more things on my list. For one is a problem, I guess many of us are having. So I'm not sure if it's the pregnancy, if it's my weight, if it's my hay fever, if it's all together, but breathing underneath these masks, it's barely working for myself. I'm also wearing glasses, and I'm not sure. I think in many of my videos I'm taking them off, but in my everyday life, I'm wearing them. And when I'm wearing my mask, it's not working. I'm not getting enough air. I'm completely worn out. Going shopping is really painful for me by now. And I mean, I'm really glad that we are all wearing masks. Don't get me wrong. I would never go without one. But I'm having a lot of problems, and that's also one of the reasons my husband isn't letting me go by myself. And so this week, while he was in isolation, we basically had no groceries, and we took the things that we still had, and it worked out perfectly fine. But yeah, so I got a lot of problems with the mask and with the breathing, and I simply hope and assume that once Monty is here, it will get better. And yeah, but I'm not sick, by the way, if I sound like it. It's my hay fever, and this is mixed with me not having slept. I slept, what, 6.5 hours roundabout. So yeah, I'm always seeming sick if I haven't slept enough. And so yeah, then okay, now there are another two things on my list. For once, my exams that were supposed to start not on this Monday but the Monday afterwards, they got delayed. Yes. I'm so happy, because I was supposed to have an exam on May 18th, on May 26th, and then on June 16, 17 and 18 another 5. And they are writing exams. So now my very first writing exam is on June 24th, and Monty's supposed to be born, Monty's due date is May 28th, and he will be born by, I don't know, June 10th or something like this. Otherwise they would go and get him. He will not be still in there by the end of June. And so I'm really, really relieved. And on Monday I got this mail from the school saying that because of the coronavirus and because none of us could really learn and go back to school, because I'm still not having school, I will not go back to school. Our school is not reopening. Also many schools in Germany are, but a little bit of a difficult backstory, but our school will not reopen before the exams. And so yeah, they got delayed, and I'm really happy. And yeah, and last but not least, I said it before that my belly finally is showing a little bit. I can show it here. like I got something of a belly, of a pregnancy belly. But not to the extent of other people being 38 weeks along. And I actually was in the pharmacy yesterday because I finally got some medicine for my heartburn, and we started talking a little bit. And she was like, oh, how far along are you? And I was like, I only got another 3 weeks. And she was like, no, like turn around, let me see your belly. And she was so confused. And I have to say, like, if you don't know it, you don't see it. Like it's not like I got this extreme huge belly, and I can tie my shoes, I can put on my own socks. I'm getting in the bathtub without a problem, like small problems, but I am getting in the bathtub. Yeah, I can get dressed by myself. It's not a problem. Like no, it's simply not a problem. And I actually called my mom yesterday just to talk about a few general things with her. And she was like, oh, don't you remember 13 years ago when I was pregnant with your little brother? Don't you remember how I looked? Because I was almost 13 at this point myself. And I remember one picture, but she was sitting in this one. And apparently it's a genetic thing as well, that we are not showing this much. And yeah, I have to say I'm really, really glad because I'm able to do a lot more than many other women that are as far in their pregnancy. And so yeah, I'm still doing relatively good besides the sleep. But now that my exams have shifted, I'm able to focus on the birth, I'm able to focus on the pregnancy, on my baby, and everything else will, yeah. So this is my 38 pregnancy week update. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Bye.